What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News, joined by T here to discuss all the latest with Palace. As always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new here, and if you do enjoy the content, it helps us out massively. We're going to be talking about Wilf's latest injury update and also transfer rumors. Today, the strikers, I don't know what's going on with strikers, but they're on the topic. There's been a few rumors to be potentially that we could be interested in. But look, as always, want to hear from you as well. So let us know in the comment section down below what you guys think about it. And if you have any questions, send them through as well. T, how you doing? You was ill? Back to 100% fitness now?
Man, I'd say I'm about 86.6.
So you're not going to be out for as long as Wilf is?
No. I'm gonna play through injury.
That's
bro.
good. That's good. We had T out for like 5 days. 5 days. He's back. He's back now.
I heal quick.
Exactly. And let's talk about Wilf. So the latest injury update regarding Wilf is that following scans, he is set to be out for 3 weeks. I don't know how to feel about that, because part of me is saying I'm happy that it's not season ending, because that's what I felt like when it first happened. But part of me is also looking at the next 3 weeks, and we've got some massive games coming up. So T, for you, 3 weeks, how are you feeling? Is it like 50-50? Is like it could have been worse, it could have been better, or are you happy that it's not, longer than that?
I mean, the thing about it is with Wilf, man, you always got to subtract at least maybe a week, maybe 2 from the prognosis date. So he may only be out 10 days, may only be out 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm happy with the 3 week mark diagnosis. Now, if it was closer to 6 or 8, that's when you're like, damn, man, that could be really bad. So I don't know, man. I'm actually kind of optimistic about it as far as how quickly he could end up coming back, because we know how Wilf does.
No, knowing him, he'll probably be back for Leeds. That's how quick he normally comes.
Dude, like he's like, you're gonna start. He's gonna Wilf is gonna try. You know what I'm saying? The physios might not let him, but he's gonna try for sure.
Yeah. Look, the next 3 weeks, the games that we got coming up, let's talk about them. Leeds, she's due to be out for that. Southampton away from home, Leeds away from home, and Everton at home. Those are 3 massive games. I mean, all the games to the end of the season are massive, but does it change? I mean, we still got West Ham coming up, so hopefully she'll be back for that. Tottenham, Bournemouth, Fulham, Forest. I think that's what I'm saying. Part of me is thinking, all right, 3 weeks, that's not long enough. But then he would have been massive for these 3 games. Potentially, by the end of these 3 games, we could have confirmed our spot in the Premier League if he was playing.
100%. Like it's like I talked about earlier. Better for us to wrap this up early on in these 10 games. To secure our place early on in the 10 games than having to go down to the last few of the season. You know what I mean? And of course, having Wilf gives us a much better chance of doing that. On the same token, we were able to secure a win in that first match in his absence. You know what I mean? So that's a good sign for us, at least. I mean, and that's kind of been a little bit of the story this season too, is that we're able to play pretty well even in his absence, which is a good thing in comparative to seasons past. So I guess my hope is that we can continue that trend and maybe still be able to pull out some good decisions while he's not in.
Yeah, but before we move on to the other rumors, have you heard the story today about Vieira?
Yeah, seen those. Very interesting. But like I said,
so apparently he's linked with. Well, we've seen Leeds when he first got sacked. I mean, apparently he was interested in a Leeds job in the first place, even when he was a Palace manager. But today there's also Forest. Can you imagine the final day of the season? Vieira versus Roy Hodgson. Winner keeps you up. Do you think he'll go to Forest if they do get sacked? I'm a bit worried that Steve Cooper might come to us. I've done a solo show yesterday talking about the manager situation. But yeah, today's massive for them. I think if Forest lose against Leeds, then Steve Cooper might be gone, and you never know. Would Vieira take that job? Do you think it'll be sensible to take that job to the end of the season?
I guess it really depends on what Vieira wants. I mean, my immediate thought was that Vieira's probably not going to want to join any of these teams right now with the risk of relegation, because I don't think he wants to manage in the championship next year. You know what I'm saying? So I think wherever he goes, he wants to be a long-term manager. Like he wants that to be his commitment, and he's planning on being there for some time. And with signing on with the team this late in the season, particularly with a team that could go down, whether it's a Leicester or a Leeds or a Nottingham Forest, who all we've heard his name mentioned with, that could be the case. He could come in, manage, even do a decent job. Not even like he doesn't have to hit it out of the park. He doesn't have to do bad. He might just do okay, and they might get relegated, and then he finds himself managing in the championship next year, which probably might not be what he wants to do.
I'll be very surprised if he wants to go Forest at this point of the season. I think he's waiting till the summer.
Yeah, I would wait. I would wait till the summer
be
because
absolutely damaged if he ends up getting relegated.
And you could pick your shots.
Not that
right
it'll be his fault, but imagine like Vieira, he left Palace and he got Forest relegated. It won't be
exactly.
He left Palace
because then that would literally be that would almost be like a confirmation of our choice. It's gonna be like, see, that's why Palace got rid of him.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Palace got rid of him. Exactly. So I don't think it will do that.
If I was him, I'd chill until the summer and then pick my spot.
Exactly. But look, let's move on to the second bit of Rumour, and that's a striker. That's positive. We want to talk about strikers because we do need some. Even though we scored 2 against Leicester and we created lots of chances, we still need probably another striker because we've only got 2 options, which at times can be unreliable. And we'll start off with the reports over in Italy. So according to Calcio Mercato, West Ham, Villa, and Palace are ready to believe in AC Milan's Divock Origi. Now, Divock Origi, fantastic at Liverpool coming off the bench. He was a great impact sub, scored some massive goals. Kind of reminds me of Mateta in that aspect. He showed up when it was needed in certain games. But for you, T, as you mentioned before the start of the show, he's not the youngest player anymore. In terms of his age, I'll get up right now, but he's 27 years old, so not too old as well, but he's turning 28 in about 17 days or 14 days, actually. So, yeah, not that old, but, look, he's had Premier League experience over in AC Milan right now. Was it the type of player that you'd want at Palace?
I mean, the thing about it, man, he doesn't necessarily fit what we're looking for trying to bring in a striker. I mean, he's getting a little bit older. Approaching 30, 27. So I don't think that's a bad thing. Looking at, I think when you're looking at Origi, he might be too expensive for us right now, and so that might not be the best move. But I don't know if you could possibly make it work expense wise, and I don't know, maybe his contract is a shorter one, maybe only 2 to 3 years. Being like I said that he's approaching 30, maybe it's something that you can make work.
Look, when you see West Ham, Villa, and Palace all mentioned, it feels like to me like an agent pushing the story more than Palace.
I can see that.
Because you can see the agent just contacting Premier League teams to see if they'll be interested. But maybe there are some interest from Palace. Maybe it's something that could happen. But for me, it's a bit hard right now to say, oh yes, I would like him, I would not like him, because first of all, how true is the story and how much do we actually want him? Is it a player that, we'll see how he is, or is it someone that will genuinely do want? For me, it feels like more of an agent story. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section as well. Bollock says, doesn't he have a history of big injuries? Well, he has had some injury problems as well, which wouldn't help.
Yep, sure has.
But and his age doesn't help as well. I mean, I'd prefer to look elsewhere for strikers, and it's not going to be the next striker that I mentioned as well. Both the strikers today, for me anyways, I'm not that optimistic about it. Probably Origi more than other player that I'm just going to mention in a few minutes.
And think about this. I mean, with Origi, I mean, he wasn't a main striker when he was at Liverpool. Took the opportunity, went to AC Milan, probably because level of play, quality of competition, and, European football. He's still not the go-to striker there. He's been playing behind Olivier Giroud. He's made 21 appearances. And of all the opportunities he's had, he's missed 6 matches from injury. He's only scored 2 goals.
So he hasn't had the greatest time there. Of course, if he did, then he wouldn't be linked with Palace. And also, by the way, some of the teams that's mentioned, forget about West Ham, but Villa. If I'm a player right now, if I had to pick between Villa, Palace, and West Ham, I'll probably go for Villa. If Villa win today, as mental as it might sound, there will be
during European spots. And think about it though, like Villa has a legitimate, like, Ollie Watkins is on really good form right now. He's playing really well. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's the best move for him. But I mean, he could definitely be an option for us. Where I think his value sits right now, and the fact that the last two teams he's been a part of, he's been a very much a bit part player, and hasn't been a huge.
I don't know if I've lost T or if it's just me, but he literally froze on my screen. But he's going to say something that was going to be facts anyways. I have faith in him. I don't know where he is. Screen is frozen. But yeah, look, with Origi, I do believe that it's agent talk right now more than anything. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's the first time it's been mentioned, and if there's anything serious, then we'll probably hear more of him anytime soon. Part of me wants to remove T from the screen, but part of me is like, that's not even a slip. He could just remain there as it is. He just literally froze. But look, let us know what you guys think as well in the comment section. Look, with Origi, Caleb says there are better options out there within our budget. Yeah, I agree. Look, it's not going to be easy. Striker's never an easy position to find, because if it's outside the Premier League, you have to see if they adapt to the Premier League, and more time than not, it's very hard to find that position and sort it out. But yeah, if you do proper scouting, then potentially you could find better forwards. Funny enough, he doesn't have any potential figures in terms of how much it could be this deal. So if we had a figure maybe 15 to 20 million pound, then we could say, oh, that'll be fair price. But we don't even know how much it'll be. And if there's other Premier League teams competing, then I guess it won't be that cheap. Which I think they will be, because he's not a bad forward, by the way. He isn't a bad forward, but there are some question marks around him. Watkins was that one guy that got away. Would have been a good signing. Yeah, 100%. He would have. But I think he wanted to join Dean Smith, I think, at the time. So yeah, fair enough to him. Irv says, I heard Zaha went to the AJ fight. I must have got okay from Palace. Hope this is good news. Yeah, he's out for 3 weeks. If you guys are just joining now, Zaha is expected to be out for 3 weeks, which means that he'll miss the Leeds game. Also Southampton and Everton. That's if he never know with Wilf. He might be back sooner rather than later. But if he's out for 3 weeks, then that's going to be a massive miss in a way. But thankfully, it's nothing too long. We'll see if we can get T back as well. I don't know where he disappeared to. Boy that says, I don't want Gallagher back at Palace. I think we should be looking at players without sorting out our new manager. How do we even get to Gallagher talk? I didn't even mention Gallagher, but yeah, Gallagher I think is rumored to be on Liverpool's radar, one of the top targets in Liverpool, which is funny because you'd think they could go for a better midfielder than Conor Gallagher. But yeah, look, it's hard. It's hard. That's the thing. We're going to be here talking about players and rumors, but it's hard to decide whether this player would be okay for us when we don't even know who our next manager is going to be. So yeah, that's the main troublesome. What's going on, T? You said you're 80% fit, 60% now?
My internet isn't fit though.
Yeah, your internet isn't fit. Your internet's out as well. Trust me, I've been having internet problems as well. It's like a worldwide issue. But yeah, I just mentioned about Conor Gallagher. Somehow we spoke about Conor Gallagher once again. I think others were talking about Conor Gallagher in the chat.
People really,
he's always going to mention. I think it was Luke.
Conor Gallagher, boy.
Gallagher and Wan-Bissaka will be our priority in the summer. Yeah, but Gallagher's rumored to be on Liverpool's top list, and Wan-Bissaka. We'll see what happens with that. But even if he's in Wan-Bissaka, we should reach this point where we can bring in another right back. Like, why we, Wan-Bissaka.
And there's plenty of decent options, and there's plenty of decent options out there that we can bring in that'll cost less. Like, there's plenty of options that'll be out there.
Yeah, exactly. Look, let's move on to the third bit of news, and then we'll go through some of your questions and wrap up the show. According to Team Talk, Crystal Palace are ready to make an offer for Rangers striker Alfredo Morales this summer, but they are not the only Premier League team in the mix. So just like Origi, there are other teams interested. But T, I don't know about you, but it seems like this guy has been on our radar for the last 4 to 5 years. It's like every single time somehow he pops up. Are you a fan of his? Look, he has scored goals and gets assists, but he's got a disciplinary problem. He gets a lot of yellow cards, also red cards as well. But I'm not over optimistic about it. I'll be honest. Like, it's not something like, oh yes, that's it. That's the news I want to hear. If it happens, it happens. But we've seen our striker from the Scottish League now with Edward, and also there's probably a reason why he hasn't been sold from Rangers for all that time. I don't think any team has seriously went all out for him, and there's a reason for that. I'm not really that much of a massive fan. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of it either, man. I mean, could it happen? possibly, but I don't really make much of it. I think it's just talk, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, I think it is. I think it is. Boy, that says Morales will combine the worst aspects of Edward and Luca. J, I think J, GEJH 2018. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Morales always looked like he's carrying timber to me. Why don't understand why Richards is not our right back. You know what? We'll go back to that, John. And there's some other comments that we're going to go back to. Don't worry, we're not ignoring them. Let's talk about Morales and let's wrap this up. Then we'll go to other comments that's not related to him. We'll talk about Balogun as well. Yeah, I mean, out of them two, Origi and Morales, who would you pick?
Origi.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
How old is Morales? Morales is not too old as well.
They're about the close. They're about
in the same. Yeah,
they're about the same age.
Yeah, in the peak.
Yeah, they're about the same age almost. Yeah.
Yeah. For Rangers this season, he has got 9 goals in 27 games. 5 in Europa League in 11 games. It's not a bad forward, but I don't know. I've got massive question marks about his discipline. He loves them yellow cards and red cards, and you might think it's not that deep, but I'm not really a massive fan of him. I'm not. If you include the Scottish tax, because you have to talk about Scottish tax as well. We've seen it with Edward. He's doing well there, but yeah, it's a tax. I mean, he scored how many goals? How many goals did I say in 7 games? 9 goals?
You said 9, and I think you said 5 in Europe.
Yeah, 9 in 27 games. If you include that staying over in Scotland, I mean, how great is that? Is that great? Am I being harsh?
I mean, this is definitely not his best season. It's definitely not his best season so far. He's had way better seasons than right now. So
yeah, exactly. He's had better seasons, but yeah, we'll see with that, because I feel like we spoke about him a lot over the years, not even recently, over the years, and it's never really happened. So I don't know who it is that's trying to force him out of there, but it hasn't worked out.
It could be Asian talk, like you said, man.
Exactly. The fact that it's been going on for years. But let's go through some of the questions. If you have any questions, send them through. We'll answer them, and even just general thoughts about Palace. So start with JEJH 2018. Still think Cooper is a dark horse for Royce replacement. Knows the hierarchy well, and allegedly met with them in 2021. Well, before Vieira joined, Steve Cooper was one of the managers that could have potentially joined Palace, and we was in talks with him as well.
And we didn't pull
What do you want this though? What do you want this though? I talked about managers yesterday. I talked about Rodgers. I talked about Potter and Hutter. I think that's the managers that we should go after. Talk about Steve Cooper. He spent about over £100 million bringing in new players, and he hasn't quite worked out. I'm not saying he's a bad manager. He's had some good results as well, but I would like to go a bit more optimistic than Steve Cooper. We're talking about a manager that's about to get sacked at Forest due to them struggling that badly.
Exactly, and I mean,
he might even not be out of job.
I mean, we kicked the tires on this guy before, and we could have hired him.
Yeah, why didn't we get him?
And we chose not to. You know what I'm saying? Like there had to be a reason. Like now, first of all, not saying that I have the confidence, all the confidence in Parrish and the board at the moment, but whatever they saw or whatever they didn't see from him, they decided not to hire him and decided to go.
But there was a bit of a backlash though from the fan base, because at the time I think Cooper was at Swansea. And not many people wanted him because it was just like his football was negative. It wasn't that great. And then maybe we pulled the plug. I'm not too sure exactly what went wrong.
I'm just saying I don't think anything. I don't think
he's
done any. I'm saying I don't think he's done anything to change our minds to want to bring him in. Is pretty much why I stand with that.
I would like if we're talking about someone, I don't know about you, but I'm someone who don't have much faith in Parrish. I've lost it. So if you're talking to someone who hasn't lost faith in Parrish, getting Steve Cooper doesn't change my mind. I think it's nothing special, and it's the least riskiest thing that you can do, and it doesn't show any ambition. When there's better managers out there, you know, if he has a real plan, then he should go for the better managers out there. I'm not saying it'll be easier to get the likes of Graham Potter, or even the likes of Brendan Rodgers or Hutter. But if you have a serious plan and if you show them this plan, then I'm sure these managers would want to see, you know, what's good at Palace. If the most that you can attract is Steve Cooper, you just got sacked at Forest, and Vieira is one of those managers that's due to replace him, then I mean, it doesn't give me any confidence that they can lead us on to the next level. That's not just staying up.
And there's a lot more. There's a lot more attractive qualities with some of the other managers that we've been talking about. There's more attractive qualities with a guy like Fonseca and what he's done with Lille
Yeah,
There's
there's
more attractive
managers out there.
qualities
That's
with
the
Hutter.
thing.
What Hutter
Mm,
did with Gladbach, what he
yeah,
did with Frankfurt, like those are those are legit accomplishments that you would want to bring somebody in to do with us. Like where he brought Frankfurt from, uh, you know, mid-table in the Bundesliga to then being good enough to almost win the league and then playing in Europe. Like that's what you want. That's the type of quality you want to bring into this team to hopefully push us forward. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if I don't know what type of inspiration it gives our squad, it gives our fan base
yeah,
to bring in a guy who got fired from a team that is going to get relegated, that spent hundreds of millions of dollars on their squad, and they still got relegated.
yeah. Like
Like,
it doesn't
what
give me
type
any
of
optimism.
inspiration?
There's better
Yeah,
managers. The
what
thing
type
is,
of
there's better
optimism?
managers out there. That's the thing. We
Yeah,
shouldn't talk about Steve Cooper when there's better managers out there. If we want to go to the next level, we need to bring in more quality managers. And Rodgers is better than Steve Cooper. I'll say that. I'll rather take Rodgers. I'll rather take Potter. I'll take Eddie Hutter. Even though I mentioned Rodgers yesterday and I said that he'll be probably bottom of my list out of the three managers that I mentioned in terms of Hutter and Potter and Rodgers, he'll be bottom of my list. He's still higher than Steve Cooper. Like Steve Cooper doesn't give me any sort of excitement. That's me anyways. But I'm slightly worried. I am worried that if he does get sacked, he'll somehow end up at Palace because that'll be the most Palace thing to do. Because it's easy routes all the way. Graham Potter, Harter all the way for me. Just feel something with this guy will click. Read into him if you don't know. Yeah, don't forget about Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's got experience playing at managing top clubs, but even at Frankfurt, he
yep.
done a very good job.
He did very
That's
good at
the
Frankfurt.
thing. You want a manager who, Frankfurt, they're doing well. They've been doing well over the years, well, recently, anyways. And he was involved in that project. So I'd prefer to have a manager like that than the likes of Steve Cooper, who's literally about to get sacked because they're on the verge of relegation. Chelsea will be desperate, 20 million. Who knows the net? They'll have to sell at least 8 players. Yeah, but Liverpool want him. And as much as I love Gallagher, Vieira's gone now. Would Gallagher fit the next manager? I don't even know. Gallagher's 100% fit Vieira's system.
It might not be the same fit that we want to get from Gallagher. So I am like as upset as I was that we let Vieira go. With Vieira, I hope goes the whole Conor Gallagher thing.
Let's even someone like me who mentioned Gallagher for like how many months. Let's just move on. Let's just move on from that topic. Our previous manager that he had success under is gone. And I'm not saying if he came to Palace it would be bad all of a sudden, but I'm not that fussed about him anymore. I ain't. He suited Vieira's system, and Vieira ain't here right now. Let's talk about the next topic. Don't understand why Richards is not our right back, says John. Do you agree?
He's not a right back. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. He's not a right back.
But then, don't you think he has the qualities to play right back?
He does, but the problem is he can't stay healthy. So even if we wanted him to play right back, he wouldn't be able to right now because he's still hurt again. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't think Richards will play right back under Roy. If it didn't happen under Vieira, then it's not going to happen under Roy, is it? He's going to go with the Nathan Klein and Joe Ward. We've got two right backs there. So,
we got two right backs. So yeah, he's not going to not play the guys that he has, and we all know that Roy trusts experience too. So I don't think he's going to throw Richards in there over two highly experienced right backs that we have that are healthy and ready to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's not gonna this season, anyways. I don't think he's gonna be playing right back. Ward is horrible. Here we go. Ward slander starting in the final plan slander. Look, they ain't at the highest level, but it is what it is. It's not.
They gotta play a part in these final.
We need to improve the right back situation. I don't care who comes in. We just need to. Yeah. That's one area. That's one play. One position that we should be talking about every single show. The right back.
I'm just concerned with those two doing a job for the last 9 matches. Just do a job.
Exactly.
Be solid and allow us to get into the summer and improve at the position.
We'll wrap it up in just a minute. But Dan asks, how many players are out of contract at the end of the season? That's a very good question that I don't know off the top of my head. Well, let's try to find out. But then IU, and we haven't actually
not IU anymore because he got extended.
Got a new contract extension.
So it will be. So I mean, they're solid additions. I mean, I hope that they're doing that with the idea of them just being squad players next season. You know what I'm saying? Just depth players next season. I hope
Hopefully,
that
but
yeah,
you never know.
hopefully that and I mean the thing about it is you sign into extensions, you bring in a new manager. If that new manager doesn't you know feel like they can be a part of what they're looking to do, they're on the contract, you can move them. But
Can you move him? I don't know how much interest they'll have. Maybe not in the Premier
I
League,
mean
but
it may not. It may we're not. I mean we're not probably not talking about Premier League moves, but it may be something that could get a little bit back for them. I mean at this point their values aren't very high anyway, so. Um, I get it. I guess in a sense. I just hope that they don't have to play as large of a role in the team as they did this season.
yeah. So let me show you on my screen the players that are out of contract in the summer. We can talk through it. Of course, some of this ain't true because Jordan Ayew shouldn't be on this list. He literally got announced that he signed a contract
Yep.
extension.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a few. Of course, we know that Wilf is going to be out of contract in the summer. But yeah, Maka should be out of contract this summer. Tompkins, also
Tompkins.
Luca, Kleiny,
Yep.
Wardy,
Ward.
Ayew. That's not true, of course,
That's not
because he
true
signed an
anymore.
extension. And Wilf, he should be out of contract. Schlupp, of course, he's signed an extension as well, so that's not true. And Lukonga, Ferguson. So out of that, I can see like Maka, Tompkins, Luca, Kleiny, Wardy. I mean, we have to move on from one of the right backs. We just have to. We
Yeah.
can't sign a contract.
Yeah.
I think it might be Klein. I don't know why, but I do think it might be Klein that
I
we
think
move
it
on
might
from.
be
Or if
Klein.
not, we should ideally move on from both of them.
Yeah, because the
if we want
thing
to talk
is,
about quality.
the thing is, beyond this season, Ward shouldn't be playing right back. He should be a center back at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think
But
it's.
then again, he's not even a centre back outright as well. I mean, there's probably
I
academy
mean,
players that can play centre
I
back.
feel like he's better suited to be that than a right back. Is pretty much if we're going to keep him with the team for testimonial or whatever you want to do, he probably needs to stay on with the idea of him playing as depth at center back, so that we have an understanding of what we want to do with right back.
Yeah, I can see us at least moving on from 5 players. One of the 2 right backs. I'm not too sure who it would be. Maka, Tompkins, Luca, Ferguson. We spoke about it before. He's out injured. Maybe I don't know if to sign an extension, but at least probably about 4 to 5 players to be moving on this summer. And
You can see at least as many as 7. As many as 7 walking out, 7 or 8.
Yeah,
Maybe
Wilf could potentially go as well. So at least,
Yeah.
anyways, 4 or 5 players moving on, which we need to do. We need to start moving on from these players and start strengthening in quality rather than just depth. Yeah, look, let's wrap this up. Is there any other things that you want to talk about, T? Of course, today's games, they're massive games. We'll probably keep an eye out on those.
Yeah, interested to see how Leeds does. Yeah, Leeds has a.
I think they beat Forest. I do think they beat Forest. Forest struggle away from home massively, and also Leeds. They're not a bad side. Don't look at the Arsenal result and think that Garcia's got them playing a bit better football.
So for us as Palace and as
who do you want? What do you want today?
I think
Brighton to beat Bournemouth.
we want to draw in that match, that Forest and Leeds match.
All the games.
Want to draw there.
So let's talk about the game. So we've got Brighton hopefully beating Bournemouth. That's the best scenario.
Yep.
Leeds Forest, would we be happy with a draw?
Well, I mean, if a draw means neither of them really climbs a lot closer to us, so then I would say yes. I would say a draw.
Yeah. I'll say draw from that, and then Villa beating Leicester. I think we can all agree on that.
We can all agree on that.
And then Chelsea, Liverpool. Who cares about them? 2 mid-table clubs. But yeah, literally,
that's tough. That's tough for Leicester to turn around and play on a Tuesday after Saturday.
Yeah, but then Leeds got us on a Sunday as well, so they've got like 3 games in a week. We've had our games in hand. We faced them against Brighton, so we have to go through it as well. Yep. So it's not like it's just them teams. But yeah, Leeds at home, they should be beaten Forest. But hopefully they get a draw anyways, and we'll see what happens. But look, if you have enjoyed the show, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you just joined us now, make sure to go watch the whole show. We talk about Wilf's injury update and also answer some of your questions and talk about strikers that's been rumored to join the club. Look, that's it from me and T. We're going to be building up for the game. The preview should be coming out in the next few days. That's going to be massive because the biggest question is who plays ahead of Wilf? He's out. He's not going to be available for that game. And also, maybe any other changes that we could potentially see. Mateta was on the score sheet. Does he come into the game for Leeds? Look, we're going to be talking about that and more. So make sure to subscribe to not miss out on the preview. And that's it from me and T. And until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.